Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, friends. It's time once again for some strange new worlds. This time, Season 3, Episode 6, The Sehlat Who Ate Its Tail. Now, friends, I do know that the Sehlat is the species of pet that the Vulcans had, at least Spock had. We learned about that in the original series and actually saw it on screen in the animated series' episode yesteryear. So I can't wait to see. I'm sure this is just a saying, but a reference maybe? Who knows, friends? But wait no longer to get that information, we shall. If you could do me a quick favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel and it allows me to alert you next time it's time to board Pike's Enterprise. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. And if you're not a fan of Patreon, consider YouTube memberships. You'll get all of our episodes at least a day early. But my dear friends, all that is then and this is now, and now it's time to watch the 6th episode of the 3rd season of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, The Sehlat Who Ate Its Tail. Prepare to engage maximum warp reaction. And away we go! All right, friends, how we feeling about Season 3? Comparing only to Seasons 1 and 2. How we feeling about this season, though? Jury's way out with me, just to be fully honest.
Our job puts us up against death more than is fair. Now you can let death win.
Now, see, I was drawn into the previous Leons, even though I said I wasn't going to be, but even in those flashes, we saw, I hate to say, there's a comparison there, friends.
What is the Stardate? They're all blending together.
That's a Farragut, right?
Planetary survey of Helicon Gamma, an uninhabited M-class world outside Federation space, and I am so deeply bored. We're out here to get our hands dirty, to be explorers, not to triple check every sensor reading. She wants to do everything by the book.
Any changes since last night?
I just think the book would be more interesting if I got to write it.
We could get much more detailed readings from an even lower orbit.
How low do you suggest?
Lowest orbit there is. Our boots on the ground.
An unknown force just impacted Helicon Gamma's surface. Report. There's a seismic...
Oh, wow.
Red alert.
It's probably a good thing that we weren't down on planet.
Brace for...
Oh, the captain just went right off of navigation, I think. Holy smokes. Her head rocketed off that thing. Yeah, she's hurting, man.
Medical team to the bridge.
Get away from the planet, Jim, if you can.
We need immediate assistance. We've taken heavy...
Sir, something's interfering with the comm signal. I'm trying to identify the source.
It's coming from that.
A good start. Very good start. Let's see what we have. Christopher's telling us about the Final Frontier. I don't like to compare shows. It's too easy to make the comparison between, you know, the original series and the Strange New Worlds. And I just don't, I was initially doing that. I don't want to do that. I want to just to have its own merit, you know what I mean? And it's easier because there's not a constant comparison, which there would be. But with this in particular, I've been comparing it to Seasons 1 and 2, and not to beat a dead horse, but that's basically what I'm doing here is Season 3 has not reached the heights of Season 1 and 2 to be very political about it, you know? And I'm just curious to see what the community's thinking, because it could easily be my own bias that I'm putting on it, that I like Seasons 1 and 2 better, you know, and it's not necessarily the quality or, you know, the coherent storylines or, you know, the characterization. It's just that, you know, my preference is Seasons 1 and 2, but I'm very curious to see what you all think, and I've avoided any type of, like, reviews or anything because they spoil the shit out of stuff. I don't know. I'm just kind of curious what everyone else is thinking. I mean, episode 6, we have half of it left. We'll see. All right, what do they have? Wow. Holy crap, the Farragut is messed up. Oh, that's awesome.
Life signs on board, but barely enough to crew the ship.
Multiple systems non-functioning. What in Beard's name happened here?
It was huge.
He's got internal bleeding. I need to get him to sickbay.
I'd better go to engineering, check there's still a work core.
It's not just ship to ship. All comms are down. We'll have no way to get in touch with each other.
Oh, great.
Don't you shut down on me.
Seeing a lot of blunt force injuries in here. What happened?
You should ask the captain. Bed 4.
I mean, people just, this is crash damage, right?
I need to get back to the bridge. Right after we make sure that your brain isn't herniating. Stay.
Ugh.
Wow.
Sir, it's too dangerous without the sensors. Captain
Burrell left me the con, and it's up to me to return it intact.
Yep.
It's a miracle you got a distress call. Signal was jammed.
The interference has wreaked havoc with us too, but I might be able to set up line of sight.
Yeah, that's interesting. All comms are down except they were able to get this out. Huh.
Planetary instability?
No. A focused gravitational beam aimed at the planet.
Aimed by what?
What?
A ship capable of generating a tractor beam that powerful would have to be...
Several orders of magnitude bigger than any starship on record. It wasn't interested in us. We were just collateral damage.
Destroyer of worlds.
I'm keeping a skeleton crew aboard so Farragut doesn't become a salvage job.
Well, you've performed commendably. Number 1, I want all Farragut crew beamed aboard immediately.
Aye, Captain. Full evacuation. Start with the escape pods.
Proceed.
Captain Pike.
He doesn't want to leave the chair.
Before you evacuate, transfer all tactical info on this mystery ship. I want to be ready if they take another swing.
I restored some function to sensors.
Beaming back now, Captain. I'll hand this to you personally. Energize.
Love it. Uh-oh. Jammed again?
I don't think I can.
Why not? Alvarez, I need you on tactical. Prepare all weapons.
Aye, Commander.
We have visual on Enterprise. They are engaging.
They are engaging.
That is illogical. Enterprise's weapons were clearly ineffective. Our targeting systems are down. Firing would serve little purpose and risk damaging Enterprise.
But we have to do something. We can't just sit here.
Well, it ate Enterprise. Okay. What the hell is this thing? Well, it's gone now.
Bridge to sickbay. I need to speak to Captain Varel ASAP.
Nurse Chapel reporting. She required an emergency craniectomy, which I'm not qualified to perform. So I beamed her to the Enterprise 2 minutes ago.
You're in charge, Jim.
Commander, you are now captain of the Farragut. We await your orders, sir.
That got me a little bit. Yep. Meanwhile, is this inside? Yep.
Main power's offline. All network systems are down. Engines, weapons, internal comms. Hand communicators still are not working. Too much interference.
Then we have to assume that we've been boarded. Did the Farragut sensor logs tell us anything about the species that built this thing?
Their hull is nearly impenetrable to our sensors, but it's clear they're incredibly advanced.
Scavenger ship, hundreds of years old. Prowling just beyond the edges of known space.
Consuming resources from planets and any ship unlucky enough to cross its path.
Klingons called it Chachka, the Annihilator.
Galactus. Man, the Farragut is absolutely smashed.
Our sensors cannot fully penetrate its hull, so we can ascertain little of its composition, capabilities.
All the legacy characters are here.
Regulations would have us tugtail and run back to Federation space. By the time we reach a subspace relay and get reinforcements, Enterprise will have been ripped to scraps.
What do we do?
Chapel's right. If speed is our weapon, then we have to press it.
What speed? With all due respect, Commander. I mean, acting captain?
Scotty, come on.
Because your ship's so banged up, it wasn't worth stealing.
There's nothing on it to scavenge.
Well, then I need you to perform some miracles, Mr. Scott. We need engines and weapons in that order.
Aye.
So is this like his first day in command of, like, Spock and everybody?
Oh, shoot.
Oh, Pelly is here. Yay!
The umbilical. Come with me. Come. It's flooded with toxic gas.
There's an umbilical? Oh.
It's tapped into our power systems, our computer network, our fuel storage. We've barely any auxiliary power left.
Wow.
Why don't you start with doing it the way where we won't immediately explode, and we'll take it from there.
And work backward, yeah.
There's another world nearby with significant deposits. Sullivan's planet, directly in their path.
Inhabited?
Over 100 million people.
Wow.
Listen, we need to get there first. Set a trap for the scavengers.
You're not asking me to warp us past them. With the head start they've got. You were handed a raw deal, all right? No one can fault you for that. But if we push this ship too hard and it fails, That's our fault, not theirs.
It's a risk.
It's Jim's call. Deal him in.
Huh. What's the problem?
No power.
That's a good sound, right? The ship is happy screaming.
It's a reminder to work faster.
Yeah.
Communication issue? I got here just in time then. This may be the first time I'm glad to have lived through the 1980s.
It is hooked directly into our power grid, our computer systems, and our fuel pods.
We could try to sever it with our phasers.
How much energy would take out half the ship?
I like this. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What do we got here? There's two.
I don't think they can see us through the smoke. Let's get her out of here.
Well, I mean, the lights on your suit scream shoot in the middle of all of these lights. You're bound to hit something.
Approaching warp 7, sir.
Ooh.
How long until we reach Sullivan's planet?
2 hours, if we can maintain this speed.
I will be accepting drinks in the galley from everyone who said that this was...
Boom. Yeah, she's not going to be able to withstand this.
It's the plasma manifolds. They've blown out.
Well, then take whoever you need and get down there and fix them.
They are gone, beyond repair. We need to put into space dock now and replace them.
Oh, great. Well, the good news is, Jim, we didn't blow up.
There's a chance it will just go on its merry planet-eating way.
Our other option is to abandon ship and escape by shuttle.
We could take one to the nearest subspace relay and hail Starfleet.
By the time we get there, everyone on Sullivan's planet will be dead.
None of you are the captain.
That is not our decision to make.
Right.
No need for further discussion.
Then how will we provide you with options?
I don't need options. I don't need chattering voices. What I need is to clear my head.
That's Jim's command style. If I need, I'll ask for it. The difference between Jim and Christopher.
First he's reckless, now he's liable to snap like a twig. Let's say he does. What then, huh?
We would take steps to remove him from command.
This is
It's within my power to evaluate him, and if...
a huge reach right here.
Before we even think about going down this road, we should consider...
I mean, it's like...
He saw something in me that I hadn't seen in myself. It saved my life. I think he just needs to be reminded that same thing is in him.
One of us should talk to him.
He is clearly agitated. Perhaps someone with a less emotional style might be more effective.
All right, Spock. Light him up. Oh, it's taking the energy.
Damage.
In here, more galley.
Do they have personal shields? Something's taking... It looks like it absorbed the energy.
And yet the suits are highly advanced. I have never seen a device absorb phase.
And they have a highly advanced suit and projectile weapons?
No one has ever seen them, but I know they were considered monsters, even by the Gorn.
Send phasers to kill.
They should have been set there to begin with. Come on now. What is this race?
Our quarters exactly what I expected. I have piloted many a starship with this. Granted, they were 8-bit, but...
An Atari?
Oh, this was once a state-of-the-art communicator.
Well, how are you going to get this? How are you going to get a conventional phone to work? Just plug it into the jack in the wall?
We're going to have the crew strip the ship for copper cables, and we're going to wire the Enterprise.
Do you know how much wire you would need? Oh, my God.
Your brother speaks often of your aspirations for command and of your affinity for leadership. Actually, he said, you are not afraid to throw your weight around, no matter who's in front of you.
Not frozen in that respect.
I always think that I should be the one giving them. Earlier, I told Captain Varel to send a landing party to Helicon Gamma.
They'd have been super dead.
Mr. Scott warned me not to push the engines, but I ordered him to anyway. I've been flying by the seat of my pants this whole time, and all I did was put his belly up in the path of the ultimate destroyer.
And now you are having a crisis of confidence.
Oh, boy.
My mom was fond of an expression. The dog who caught the car.
Be careful what you wish for.
On Vulcan, we have a similar expression.
Hmm.
The Sehlat who ate its tail. Your human intuition. It has guided us this far. We are all still here. I recommend you keep following it.
How long until that scavenger ship gets here?
Less than 20 minutes, but that's just an estimate.
Well, it's good enough for me.
Oh.
Even if my actions indicated otherwise, I have no intention of giving up on rescuing the Enterprise. Not with the lives of both of our crews on the line.
Then it moves on to devour the next resource. Like, it'll never stop. You know, it'll never have enough.
Exactly. We're going to make the Farragut into a banquet that's impossible for these scavengers to resist. And when they come to dine, we're going to make them regret it.
Okay.
Here's where the plan gets a little crazy.
This is where the plan gets crazy.
Glad you're sitting down, Nurse Chapel. You, especially, Mr. Scott, are not going to love it.
I'm not sure about the Scotty characterization, or portrayal, I should say. Okay, looks like he hit the battery. You should be able to shoot him now. Give it a shot now. Can we get a glimpse of these things? Oh, shit. Not great. Knocked his helmet off. Well, you're hurting it. Is it because of the kill setting or because the battery thing was wounded or damaged?
You all right?
Good acting by Ensign Mount.
Well, if we can't disconnect it, what if we convince them to?
How do you mean?
Make them want to disconnect it. Give them a taste of something.
Yeah, feed them something they don't like.
One of us would have to access the way system beneath the warp drive.
Way system. All right, you do that. I have to isolate the fuel line.
And I'm the captain.
Why? Be careful. That other alien's still out there.
Well, I mean, we've seen two. One's dead. We're not sure how many there are, to be very fair.
Hello?
Starboard thrusters are ready.
Port thrusters standing by.
Okay, Erica. Don't crash.
The size of this thing, man. I don't recognize the craft composition or anything like that. It looks like an alien, like from Aliens, Xenomorph.
Scotty, your turn.
That being said,
I do, Mr. Scott. Detach at my mark.
Alrighty.
Mark.
Gave him the nacelles.
Spock?
What'd that do?
The Sehlat has eaten its tail, Captain. The scavenger ship has been disabled.
Disable the scavenger ship.
tell her it's just temporary.
How temporary?
No idea, but this is your chance.
For a jailbreak.
Maybe hold the phone up to Erica's ear. She's gonna probably need both hands.
Captain, any luck finding the fuel line?
Got a pretty solid guess.
Oh, good. Solid guess.
Barium particles are entering the deuterium stream. The
Be
mixture
careful,
is
they could rip this thing right back.
destabilizing.
Let's get the hell out of here before we get sucked out with this thing.
Yeah. They're gonna rip it right back. Especially since they've already been disabled. They're...
Ease off starboard thrusters. Whoa, not that easy. Give me 30%, 50%. Wait, 50, 80. Cut starboard.
Erica, he's got a joystick.
Thruster controls aren't responding.
That's real bad.
Wait, I have an idea.
I'm all ears. Commander?
What are we doing? Forced air decompression to give it some type of boost. It couldn't be that much, though.
Captain,
The scavenger.
It's red blood.
Sir, the grapplers have proven to be resistant to our weapons.
Okay, Spock. What do you got?
There you go, Jim. Whoa! Wow, 3 photon torpedoes down the gullet did that? We need to learn a little bit more about these folks here.
Mr. Spock, scan the debris for life signs.
This will be interesting.
Approximately 7,000 life signs, but they are dwindling quickly.
Can we beam survivors aboard?
Not even if we wanted to.
There's too much debris to get a transporter lock.
What have we done?
Life signs.
Yes, Mr. Spock?
Human, I bet you. Oh boy. Christ, looks like Jim from The Expanse. What are we looking at here?
The markings on the hull. Can you get us a clearer image?
Aye.
What?
In the mid 21st century, before first contact with the Vulcans, a group of scientists believed that Earth's environmental crisis was too severe. The ship disappeared. The entire crew, their families, gone.
They were the best of us, the most optimistic.
7,000 souls.
The descendants of the original inhabitants.
So what went wrong?
Yeah.
I'm imagining the look on Admiral April's face when he sees us pull in with no nacelles.
He likes Aldebaran and whiskey. Maybe have a bottle ready.
You saved the Enterprise, dude.
You saved hundreds of lives, both here and on Enterprise.
Number of estimated human casualties on unknown vessel. 7,000.
It's not your fault, man. This is a very odd situation anyway.
The big decisions, they seem so simple when someone else has to live with the consequences. But the choices you make in that chair, they are yours to make. Empathy isn't conditional. It's either given or it isn't. They clearly saw us. And either they didn't recognize us or they didn't care. Whatever journey they'd been through the last 200 years, it broke them.
Is that what we would become in the same circumstances?
I'd like to believe we wouldn't.
Why not?
Because of how you're feeling right now. Because the next time you're in that chair, you will remember we are often not that different from our enemy. Good night, Captain Kirk.
That's a good leave line if that's it. All right, everybody, we just finished watching Star Trek Strange New Worlds, the 6th episode of the 3rd season, The Sehlat That Ate Its Tail, and the only thing left to do is talk about it. All right, everybody, we just finished The Sehlat That Ate Its Tail, the 6th episode of the 3rd season of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. All right, full disclosure, friends, I think I'm getting to the point where, and again, this is a personal thing where I think I'm getting to the point where I'm frustrated in the story and I'm going to start being overly critical. So that's my warning right here. And I need you all, and again, I'll add to your job, you need to reel me back in when I start kind of getting out into the weeds. Was this a good episode? There were some interesting parts in it. I think it was very, very kind of ham-handed in like, this is, Jim's come to Jesus moment about, what it really means to be in the chair. And is this a high stakes type of situation? Absolutely. But okay, here's my biggest problem with all of this. This basically presupposes that the Jim Kirk that we know from the... And it's so funny. I said this at the beginning that I wasn't going to like compare the two, and I don't mean to, but this is kind of this, it lends itself to comparison here because you're dealing with Jim and his, what is essentially his first moments in command. And here's my problem. The Jim that we know from the original series and Points Beyond, you're basically saying didn't really exist until this kind of lesson learned from this episode, or at least didn't exist in the type of strength that, the type of, concentration that we know in the original series before the events of this episode. And these kind of like, were acted as the catalyst towards the Kirk that we ultimately arrive at. And I don't mind momentous moments. I don't mind, like these climactic kind of characterizations. But I think this went too overboard. And the reason why I say that is I don't like the idea that, again, this is almost kind of like making an excuse for Jim's command style. And you're getting yourself into problems whenever you start trying to do that. It's like, hey, everybody, we know that our audience likes Chris's, command style, which is, a lot of people have talked about that I've seen, you all talked about that. It's sort of when I looked up stuff for like season 1 and season 2, there was interesting kind of comparisons and things like that before the events of season 3. And so, I don't think you need to make excuses for the way that Jim has a command style. You know, Jim's command style is I'm pretty sure I know what I'm doing, and with Jim, it's I'm absolutely sure I know what I'm doing. If there's some rough edges to my plan, then I will start asking people. But other than that, I need to be able to make snap judgments, keep my head clear. You know, when I need it, I'll turn to Spock. When I need it, I turn to Sulu. When I need it, I'll turn to Bones and Plum. And when I need it, I'll turn to Uhura. I'll make sure that, you know, Scotty, when I need the additional information, it's beyond my skill set, then I will ask for it. Other than that, my job on this boat is not to fix the engines. My job on this boat is not to tell the science. My job on this boat is not to repair the human beings that are injured under my command. That's my job. Command. And I'm not going to ask anybody else to do my job. That's Jim's command style. You know, Chris, and again, Chris is a completely different, you can't compare the two because, you know, then you say, oh, so Chris is, you know, not confident enough to make these things. No. Chris he's just, you know, one of those kind of like, hey, what does everyone think? And yes, they fly in. They're in kind of opposition of one another because it's like, you know, the plurality of, you know, a kind of an idea or a problem, you know, discovered, and then the singular notion that Kirk is, you know, infallible in that moment. But it's again, it's to me, I don't know what you all think, but to me, it feels like they're making an excuse. Like, you know, hey, everybody, Jim likes to make his own decisions, but he learned a lesson from this one. Oh, shit. Come on. Everybody that's been in the chair that I've seen so far anyway, certainly has regrets. And that includes Chris. You know, I mean, come on. There's certainly things that happen that, you know, you can say 7,000 people, but let's just leave that for what it is right now. I was not a fan of this being sort of like a teachable moment for Jim. Does that make sense? And again, please note that I'm a huge mark for Jim Kirk. He's my captain. And so I'm absolutely going to bristle and I'm absolutely going to, you know, take offense at things that I feel are being offensive to the character of Jim Kirk. I don't think it was that bad. I think they were trying to show us a historical moment. I just think it was a little too in your face. Does that make sense? Now, everyone... I do not like to pick things apart, and I'm not going to because somebody wrote this episode. Somebody, you know, there was creatives behind all of this that certainly have forgotten far more than I'll ever know about making a hit TV show. So take that for what you will. You know, what the hell do I know? That's always my thing. You know, I certainly am by no means an expert in all of this. I simply convey to you all the things that I like and the things that I see. And so with that, you know, kind of being out there, I hate to yuck anybody's yum. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there. There are plenty of people out there that watch this episode and, you know, absolutely loved every element of it. And I would love to hear from those people too, not to argue or anything like that. Explain to me, you know, what was your favorite thing about it? And that could trigger something in me to have a shift. It's happened before numerous times. I've gone into an episode not really liking it after I've watched it. And one of you all said, yeah, but what about this? And then I think about it and I go, oh my God, they're absolutely right. Changes my opinion. I'm going to need a little of that on this one, friends. Okay, so the story. You have this incredibly devastating vehicle that looks like a cross between one of the worms that Thanos sent to Earth. Those worms that flew through the air that Hulk punched and, you know, we took up into space and all, they came through the wormhole and all that stuff. A cross between them and the xenomorphs from Alien. I just, you know, okay, so that there it is. We've had that. And again, the markings that were only apparent after it was destroyed conveyed like, you know, the stars and stripes of the United States and obviously kind of lent itself to be, you know, are there humans aboard? Okay, so we missed that. We didn't see the big flag on the side of the ship. The ship was made to look like something that doesn't exist on Earth. Does that make sense? It's like, you know, you would think if they were going to make the ship look mean, or if that was the intent, I'm absolutely just speculating. Because, again, why would you... Why would you make your ship look like a dragon in space that eats things? Just the practical nature of that doesn't make sense. You know, if you were going to do stuff like that, you would just have like a door that would open that would draw anything in. If you needed to like throw it in the furnace of whatever this craft is that you made, you didn't have to. The theatrics, I think, everybody, the theatrics really kind of threw me off on this whole thing. Because, I mean, and again, it just so happened that there was a communication. You know, they jam everything, so they don't talk to anybody. You know, they didn't look outside and were like, hey, we can read. We can read the stuff that's on the dome of this ship, you know, the saucer section. Well, it looks like it says Enterprise, everybody. That one says Farragut, you know. Are these, and again, they've been flying through space. They did say that we were outside of Federation space and known space, so to speak, at this Class M planet. But at the same time, you're telling me that this group never encountered anybody and then they left the Earth to make sure that the environment and blah, blah, blah. But they didn't leave the Earth on bad terms with the Earthlings. You know, it didn't sound like, you know, it wasn't like they had sworn off humanity and they were, you know, it didn't seem like there was a severing like of that, of like the you know, their ideas that they were no longer part of the human race or anything. So again, it speaks, it's so wildly, all of these things have to hit for this kind of subterfuge to continue, and I don't think it worked well. I think that, you know, it takes, okay, here's why I don't like things like this. It's basically saying the characters that we know and love that are experts in their field in all of these different things, you know, putting phone systems through the Enterprise and all this stuff that we did, you know, all of these kind of workarounds and solutions to problems that they figure out. These incredible people, these incredible specialists that are on both the Farragut and the Enterprise that are members of Starfleet, the assumption here is they missed a lot. Like they didn't connect the dots, like they didn't do their jobs. You know what I mean? It just seems wildly you know, it just doesn't seem like it would fit, friends. I mean, the idea that they see the American flag after it gets blown up, sure, could it have been revealed then, like it was hidden when it was in the full, like, you know, dragon mode? Sure, but then, you know, we don't have anybody reaching out. You know, what made them all of a sudden turn into space vampires, essentially, or space cannibals, or whatever you wanted to call them, space zombies. You know, they didn't talk to anybody. They didn't, you know, they weren't running through the Enterprise and realized, you know, hey, we can read everything, or, you know, I mean, I don't get it. And again, if they needed energy so badly, and the other thing is, you have a craft that was built by the greatest scientific minds of 200 years ago. And this craft is somehow able to stand up to the Enterprise, the Farragut, you know, all of these other crafts, the Klingons that they faced, and no one thought to shoot photon torpedoes down its mouth. I mean, okay, like none of this happened. Like I need like 1,000 answers to questions with this one, because it just does. I don't know how they got from 200 years ago to now and they're a problem. It just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, again, I've seen the J.J. Abrams movies, and not that that should be any type of point of comparison, but you know, we had a similar circumstance in that one when we had the Romulan craft with Nero, who went back into the past. Now, that was an advanced craft that could absolutely lay waste to everything. But flip the script on that one, everyone. It would almost, and in many ways, it would be like the advanced craft was the Enterprise. But in that movie, you know, you would have the Kelvin beat, you know, Nero. Okay, or it could be a big problem. It technologically doesn't make sense. You could say, oh, the scientists continue to make advancements, sure. But at the same time, keeping pace with Starfleet, with the Klingons, with all these different cultures, I just don't see it. The premise of the episode, and I understand what they were trying to do with it, it just, I guess the easiest and most political and nicest way I can put it is, like many of the season 3 episodes, this one did not hit for me, friends. And I hate to say that. I really do, because I like Strange New Worlds Seasons 1 and 2 were fantastic and fabulous. I love them. I thought they were really, really good, great stories. Season 3, friends, whew, well, we've got 4 more episodes. If you could do me a favor, hit that like button, smash that subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It greatly helps out a small channel, and it allows me to alert you next time it's time for some science fiction. And of course, if there's anything that we do that you would like early or in its full-length format, the link to our Patreon is in the description. And if you're not a fan of Patreon, consider YouTube memberships. You'll get all of our episodes at least a day early. But my dear friends, all that is then and this is now, and now it's time to say goodbye. So where should we say goodbye from this episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds? Well, friends, I say we say goodbye from... it's difficult. I say we say goodbye from the other craft, where the 7,000 lost their lives. And for this moment, maybe we can get a few of our answers, our questions answered, as we just look around and see what's become of this population. How do they think? How do they move? How do they feel? And friends, these are all things we probably should have had answered for us inside the episode. Until such time as we can see where Season 3 goes, Vulcan roll, and I'll see you.